In this video, we'll be going over merge sorted array. So given two sorted integer arrays, nums1 and nums2, merge nums1 into nums2 as one sorted array. The number of elements initialized in nums1 and nums2 are m and n respectively. You may assume that nums has a size equal to m plus n such that it has enough space to hold additional elements from nums2. So in our first example, we have 1, 2, 3, 0, 0. So the number of elements inside our first array is 3, so it's 1, 2, 3. And our nums2 is 2, 5, 6, so 3 elements. And then we're trying to merge nums2 into nums1 to get a sorted array of 1, 2, 2, 3, 5, 6. Let's first go through the dot process. If we are trying to populate nums1 from left to right, we will be overriding some of the elements inside nums1, which we do not want. So instead, we should be populating the values inside nums1 from right to left instead. We can implement a 3-pointer approach. One pointer I will keep track of our position inside nums1. One pointer j will keep track of our position inside nums2. And one pointer k will keep track of the index we are populating inside nums1. Since we want to populate from right to left, our k should start at the last index. So k will be starting from the last index of nums1. And I should start with at m minus 1, so starts at this index. Because we want to populate the largest value. We want to move the largest value to the end of the array first. So I will initially be equal to m minus 1. And now j will also start at the last index of nums2. So we want to move the last element into nums1 too. So j will initially be equal to m minus 1. In each of the iteration, we will want to pick the larger value between the values at I and j to be populated at k. So example, currently we have 3 and 6. We'll pick the larger value 6 to be placed at the end of the array, which is the index k. Now let's go over a pseudocode. Create the following variables to keep track of our locations. I our current index inside nums, index inside nums 1 initially, m minus 1, and j index inside nums2 initially m minus 1, and k current index we're populating, so is initially nums.length minus 1. While I or j is not out of bound, that means we still have elements to populate at k. So if j is out of bound, or I is not out of bound, I is not out of bound, and current elements at I is less than or equal to the elements at nums2j. Oh, it's greater than. If it's greater than or equal to the element at nums2j, that means we want to pick the larger value. That's at current index. That's at index I. So set nums1k to nums1i, and then we'll decrement both I and k. Else, we need to pick the larger value at index j. So I want to set nums 1k to nums2 at j, and then we'll decrement both j and k. And then we can return, oh, we don't need to return because we're modifying the input array nums1. Let's go over the time and space complexity. So the time complexity is equal to O of m plus n, where mn are the length of the two input array. So three-pointer approach. So we can say populates each index inside nums1. Actually, we can just say is O of n, where n is the length nums1. That makes more sense. Okay. And our space complexity is equal to O of 1 because we're just modifying nums1. Let's go over the code. So create our 3 variables to keep track of our current location. n-1, j is equal to n-1, and k is equal to nums1.length minus 1. And then while the two indices are not out of bound, if j is out of bound or I is not out of bound, and the current value at nums I is greater than or equal to the current value in nums j, then we'll populate the larger value at nums k. Nums1 k, decrement the index after, else we just populate the value from index j. Nums2 a minus this. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below.